people, as we advance more, me included, you included, we don't care so much about the themes as we used to. We don't care so much about the option lines. It's nice to know we can program them in, or which one is so reedy there. But we'll get it in anyway. It's just nice to knowledge starts to show lights on things. But if it all mixed up in a stew, it's okay. See, the human being has such a tendency to get scrupulous. We all do. I used to do that. Wait a minute, is this my theme? My spirituality? Is this my option line? Wait a minute, I'm working on patience yet. No, wait a minute, I was just working on the other one. Spirit guide, do I have any more? Francine, was that her real name? No, Aina. What, was she mad all these years I called her Francine? I don't think so. We get scrupulous. I have people come into me like this, Sylvia, I haven't meditated, like I'm going to go, rotten. So you haven't meditated, so you haven't prayed. Doesn't God know what you're doing? If he doesn't, we're in big, big trouble. You just live. You just live. You just go through it. And let it go. It's all about letting go. And get rid of these giants of fear. Isn't it funny? If you know we have lists, don't we? If I notice myself, if I don't let it go, if I don't worry about this side, I'm going to worry about this side. I've got a list of worries. Don't we all have our pet list? We take it out, dust it off, and say, okay, that's a good one. I think I'll worry about that one. If that's not enough, then I'll go to the second one. And sometimes I can incorporate all of them in one day. Having a great time, worrying about all of them. And how much does it matter? It doesn't matter. God doesn't say, listen to me. She doesn't have her theme. She doesn't know her option line. She's not going to get in. No such a thing. Yes? A lot. We have archetypes that are pure entities that have never incarnated. That's what the Bible tried to tell us were archangels. We have those standing around in a group. We have the room filled here today with them. We have people who have gone on from previous lives as well as this life standing around in a crowd. We have our animals that are there. And then pushing through all that is the spirit guides. Now you have spirit guides because no one hears about the other spirit guides I have, but I have an Axier, I have a Desmond, I have a Solomon. Nobody ever hears about them, but I know they're there. You always have one communicating guide unless the person becomes so strong or they go into another direction. During the time that I was writing my book, Francine said I pulled in writers that were helping me. So people come in all the time. So if you're going to paint a picture, ask for Raphael to come in. Ask for Michelangelo to help you. You'll say, oh, I couldn't dare do that. Oh, my, I'm so unreal. Sure you can. Don't ever say, of course, what is Michelangelo better than you? No way. I'll give you another big thing that will shock you maybe. Maybe it won't. Was Christ better than you? No. Was Christ on a different track than you? Yes. Are you not the sons and daughters of God too? See, stop that. Is the Pope better than you? No. No one's better than you because you're unique and there's no one in the whole universe that is you. No one. You say, oh my God, but I've been praying to Christ, so do I. I pray to my grandmother too. I pray to God. I pray to all of them. I even remember my old saints. I pray to all of them. Get them all in there. Archangels, a whole bunch, whole crowd. People say to me, I've asked God for so many things this week, I don't want to ask him for any more. As if God's carrying a list and says, look, today, you asked me for 4 things. Don't you dare ask me for anything more. It's a humanistic thing we put on God. Ask and ask and ask and ask. God knows your heart. God knows why you came down. And the most beautiful reason you came down was for God. You say to me, what about the people that don't believe in it? They're doing it anyway. They're still experiencing for God. You don't tell me that the bush person over in Kenya is not as blessed as we are. Absolutely. Because he hasn't heard of Mohammedan or Jesus or Siddhartha, who is Buddha, he's not going to be saved. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I find that the missionaries ought to stay away from the bush people. I mean that, because they have such a beautiful feeling of God and nature. You introduce that hellfire, damnation, all that other BS, it makes people crazy. Let people alone to live and breathe and do the way God intended them to be.
What about people like Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh, no, he didn't.
Are those dark entities types, or?
That's where all bets are off. They're dark entities. But even at that, they're examples for us to know. Ooh.
I know, like in your book, you said Hitler, that there can be, like,
Sure.
reincarnations.
Group reincarnations to bring about the love of the Jews or whatever.
But a singular person like that did something like that.
Oh, and cannibalism? No, in fact, I got to the point that I started finding out from Francine who was dark and who wasn't, because you can't make a judgment on that. He was dark, but Hitler was not. See, and that really freaks me, because I'm Jewish. And I had family dying in Dachau. You know how thrilled I was about that? What do you mean he wasn't? No. And neither was Judas a bad person.
Once you explained it in the book, I understood that was all.
You see, you've got to be so careful. They just keep coming back. They don't ever go to the other side. Wouldn't it be terrible? We think we're walking down some beautiful garden spot over the other side and we run into Dahmer or Manson. No, I don't think so. We don't want to do that.
But they always come back as a horrible type.
They always come back as a horrible type of person, and that's their only domain. Did you see Dahmer's right before? I mean, he didn't even show any remorse. Nothing.
What happens when everything ends?
Then God absorbs all those people back into himself, or herself. Yeah, see, nothing's lost with God. Nobody burns in a pit of fire. Well, if you want to call us burning here, I mean, then that's it, yeah. Yes? You have control. You see, what you've got to realize about a psychic is this is her sheet, okay? This is her program. I'm not going to read them. I can read what her program is. If she goes off and does something else, I can't control that. All I'm doing is the reporter of the script. That's all a psychic is. Oh, don't you wish we could control life? People said, well, can you curse? Nobody can curse. I said, I wish I could. These people that molest children, I wish they'd drop dead in the street. You bet. And all the people who hurt other people, I mean maliciously, molest small children, do all that. Don't you wish we could stir a pot and do something? No. Can't. That's why the bad survive, don't they? How much are you in control of your life? Totally. Totally you're in control of your life. And what's your chart? Now, if you choose not to live by your chart, are you doing bad? No. You'll get back on your chart. Francine told me 20 years ago I should have started a church. I said, sorry. No. Came back again. She said, now it's getting later. Are you going to start your church? I said, no. Finally, she said to me, you are 50 years old. What do you want to do? Are you going to start your church? I said to myself, well, maybe I better. Only because the mortality is racing now, right? Not that I'm not going to live 25 or 30 more years, but still. Now what happens with that is if you sidetrack yourself, your chart still is in place. But then what happens? It races to catch up to you. I started my church 5 years ago and it went boom, like that. Where maybe, who's to know except God, if I started back 20 years ago, it might have labored through, I don't know that. But I still completed my chart, don't you see? I just elongated everything. But you're still going to do it. In other words, Michael got the neatest message from a guy. I used to say years ago, I don't care how long it takes, but if you're meant to buy a blue hat, you're going to get it. You may go to Penny's, you may go to wherever, but you're going to buy that blue hat because it's in your chart. This guy called me from 15 years ago. He said, I finally bought the blue hat. Michael said, what the hell do you mean? He said, Sylvia will know. And I called him. Took him 15 years to get in the TV business, something he always wanted to do. And I used to tell him, I said, Peter, listen, I don't care how long it takes, but it's written. And if it's written, you're going to get there. Oh, I don't know, Sylvia, my life is just... I said, no, you can't change the chart. You wrote it. I didn't. I'm reading it. So you may have delayed a chapter. You may have to wait through a few chapters. But one of the chapters is the blue hat. So Michael said, what the hell's the blue hat? I said, he bought it. He got it. So you're going to get it.